We'll work through the tabs here, and I'll show you how each one of these works. This is the monthly summary tab. We can start by changing our starting balance to whatever your starting balance is for that month. That gives you what's currently in your account, and and then you can, at the end of the month, put all of your transactions in, and you'll have your ending balance, and it'll show you how much you saved and what percentage of that, what percentage of increase in total savings, all that stuff over here. Just some helpful figures. So we'll start here by setting it all up. You can see here you have category 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are all custom categories, and you can have as many as 35 all the way down here. If you're not using a category, you just erase it like this. Here, you get rid of it, and you can see that these numbers will go away if you are not using these categories. So we'll just set up a few common categories. Same with over here. This is, so you can see we have income over here, and then we have expenses over on the left. So we'll just put in some real easy ones. Cost of living, or if you prefer, rent, utilities, cell phone, and automobile, food, and personal. Obviously, you could probably have, we have a lot more. We have about 20 categories on ours, and it allows us to budget out in each of those different categories. So as you see, there's a planned budget. There's what you actually spent in that category, and then it shows you the difference. But we'll get to that in just a second. Here, I like to do me, Miss Jeremy, Jeremy income, and then spouse income. So my spouse's income. And then I found that it's helpful to have gifts as a separate, and reimbursements. This is because I don't like these things. I like to calculate our incomes different, separate from gifts and separate from work reimbursements when I buy something for my job, and then they reimburse me. And so that's just a different way that you can keep those things separated. So now that we have our category set up, you can go to your income. Sorry. As you can see, you have your first person here. You can make that my name. You have my spouse, my name again, my spouse's name, my spouse here. And then you could do a pay rate of, say, $10 an hour. So you're working $40, 40 hours a week. That's not a lot. But say then you are perhaps just selling, you could say you're selling a piece of artwork for $50 once a week, or maybe twice a week. Say you say two for each week. We'll say art, we'll say job, and then say your spouse is bringing in something from their job, $20 an hour at 40 hours a week, and then maybe like $10 every 5 times a month or something like that. It calculates all of these different things. So it could be a pay rate in hours, or it can be just an amount. What you should know is that this column here is multiplied by this column here to get your gross. Then you can add tax percentages, 20% tax. You can kind of backwards engineer that from your paychecks, find out about how much, what percent is being taken out, and you can throw this in there. Or if you just want to save for taxes and not include that in your budget, you do 20%. It's really safe. Most taxes, I think, are somewhere between 15 and 20%, depending on it just depends on everything that you set up with your employer. So now we have a projected annual income, and then we have our monthly income, which is just this here divided out by 12. Okay, so then in our budget, what we'll do is we can start our different categories, like rent. We'll do an amount, like $1,000 a month, and you could say send to landlord on first, or whatever, or you don't have to put anything in there. It's just something helpful for you. You can just put rent. Maybe put what account it would come out of checking account. We'll do our next category, utilities. Let's budget $300 for utilities. This is gas, water, electric. Cell phone, so $150 a month for your cell phone. T-Mobile is what I use. And food, $500 a month. I like to separate these out into eating out and grocery budget, date budget, coffee and alcohol. You could split it out as much as you want. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to keep it pretty simple. Personal budget, no questions asked. Money I get to spend however I want to. And so you could set that out, and then you go over here and look at your monthly summary, and then you see that these are now populated. I didn't populate anything for automobile, so you see if you don't actually put anything in your budget lineup, nothing will come out over here. But you see we don't have any income registering, so you go over to your budget and then do what you are anticipating for your income. So category, and then you can look at here and decide, how much are we going to be getting a month. So I like to we have Jeremy income, then the description, and you can split this out into all the different incomes, or if you want, you can put it all under one category. But I can look over here, see that my income for my job is going to be $320 a week. The best way to do this would actually be to equals, go to your income, it equals this number times 4.333333. That's how many weeks are in a month average. And then I have my income, and I'll say that's from my job. And then you can put whatever amount you want to budget here. I'll leave that kind of freedom. You can add a formula like I did here. That can be super helpful. And then you could do spouse income from her job. Or if you want to make it super easy, go over to your monthly summary, and then just have one category called income. Get rid of that category altogether, and then your budget over here. Now you see these categories are invalid, so they won't register unless they are picked from the drop-down menu. And then you can actually have this equals my monthly average income, and then that shows up there. And so even if you change this, if this changes, then you can you don't have to change anything over here, and it will just register. And then so now that we could go back to our monthly summary, we see that we have our planned income, but we have no actual income until we register it. That's what this transactions tab is for. This is what you register each month, and then clear it after you register everything for that month. So what I like to do is a lot of banks will provide, you can export your information into a spreadsheet, and then that makes it really easy to copy and paste things into here. What I like to do is if you right click, you can do paste special and values only. Paste values only from that, and it doesn't affect your format, so it still looks pretty. But basically you could say, okay, on the 1st of January I had an amount of $1,000. This is for rent, and then my category was for rent. And then you can come over here to your monthly summary. You see that you planned 1,000, you spent 1,000, your difference is 0. And so you could kind of see how if you were to put in all of your transactions, that would start to populate in quite a nice way. Let's go ahead and get some income in here. Say on the 1st I got paid, I don't know, $1,000, and the description was Jeremy job and category is income. Now you can go over here, see in the monthly summary that we were planning to make $4,507. We only made $1,000, so we actually have a difference here. And then you could start to see these things populate here. So we have our planned expenses, our planned income, our actual income, and our actual expenses. That's why I like in the transactions where it says my expenses were this much, my income was this much. How did we do? Is just asking the question, did we spend more or less than we made? And we spent exactly the amount that we made. So we have 1,000 in both categories. If we were to do 1,001, we would have saved $1. If we were to change this to 1,002, we would have lost $1 for that month. And I won't spend time filling this out, but you can see how that becomes really helpful. So now this comes to the annual summary page. This will be what you started out with at the beginning of the year. You could say it was $25,000, including savings and everything like that. I will bring that out a little bit. Okay. All of this is protected because many of these things are formulas and formats that don't really need to be changed accidentally, but you can change them as long as you hit OK. Get rid of that. And then, so how this works is for the month of January, I would come over here to my monthly summary, and for my expenses, I would copy these numbers. So right click, copy, go into 2017, and under this is the first thing is income, the second is expenses. So you go over here, right click, paste special, paste values only. So you keep your format, which turns things green if they're positive, black if they're 0, or red if they are in the negative. And what this does is allows you to it allows you to keep track from month to month. And then we go over here to the monthly summary. We will collect these numbers from our income, right click, copy, or Command C or Control C. Go into 2017 to January. We'll paste special right there, values only. This pastes the totals and everything here, and so then we have our everything begins to populate over here. And you'll notice that now it says months recorded 1. So once you've recorded your first month, and this first box here is not 0 any longer, because obviously you would plan to spend more than $0. So when you copy each month, it will add to how many months are recorded. And that all that does is change your monthly average here. So, what that will do here, it looks like it's not working, but it should help with doing monthly averages of each of these different categories. And I'll check the formula so it will work. Sorry about that. Then you go to your transactions. I like to keep a transaction log, so I will record everything here. You can again right click, copy, and then go into past transactions, and I actually keep a running record of every transaction that I use or that I do throughout the year. So by the end of the year, I have this giant list of everything that I've bought from every person, and then I throw a blank one in there just for you to do some copying and pasting if you need to use that for notes or whatever. But that is a short introduction to this. If you'd like to know more, you can email me at friend.jeremy@gmail.com, and I can give you more information or more specific on more specific questions. Okay, thanks so much. Hope you enjoy it, and let me know any of your feedback.